Right, I want to start off by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And I want to say shalom to the brothers and sisters that are in this truth. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, man, we back with another lesson. And we're going to go into the Texas floods. All right, and what's going on over there. All right, this one's going to be titled The Mighty Hand of the Lord. Right? Because those that are in the know, those that are in the inner circle of this truth, understand that this is judgment from the Lord, right? This ain't the devil, this ain't, Satan, just rebelling against the Lord. No, this is the Lord showing his anger at a small scale, okay? This is what you call the Lord warming up, right? In his locker room, stretching and warming up before the fight, okay? Showing you, shadow boxing, showing you what he could do, all right, in a minute's work, okay? Now you got to understand too. I don't know how true it is, but they're saying that the governor made a statement against who they call God, right, Yahweh, and he said that if God was an illegal immigrant, they deport him too. Okay, now I don't know how true it is. I'm just hearing that through different videos, okay, by different people. All right, but if that's true, hey, as the scripture says, right, pride comes before the destruction, right, and a haughty look before the fall. Okay, but you got to understand that these judgments are going to amplify, and nobody's exempt. Not children, not women, not grandpa or grandma, not you. That's why we keep telling you to turn from the ways of Babylon, man. All right, because you're going to get caught up in the crossfire. All right, and there ain't going to be no hostage negotiations, okay? All right, you either in or you out. All right, so we're going to look at this video real quick and get some scriptures, all right, and show you the mighty hand of the Lord, all right?
The downpours hit in the early hours of Friday, inundating an area along the Guadalupe River. Officials in Kerr County say at least 68 people there were confirmed dead, including 28 children. They say about 10 people, mostly children, are missing. More deaths have been reported in other counties. Authorities say the rain came so quickly overnight that many people likely had no chance to reach safety. U.S. President Donald Trump posted a message on social media Sunday saying he'd signed a major disaster declaration for Kerr County. He pledged to work closely with local leaders to ensure they get the resources they need.
All right, so you saw it there, right? Devastating flood in the U.S. state of Texas has reportedly left more than 80 people dead. All right, so, and they said, I think it was like 14 children, okay, and 10 girls are still missing. All right, and I guess there was an update, and I believe it was 12, and they found them, and they were all deleted. Okay, so you see that the Lord, he's not a respecter of a person, man, in judgment. Okay, just because you're a cute little girl or a little good little boy, okay, hey, you gotta understand, all right, that reincarnation is real, and the Lord also judges for what you've done in your past life. That sentence, is passed on, right, into this to this next life, unless He shows mercy. Okay, and we're gonna prove that. All right, but first, right, we're gonna start off with the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39. We're gonna start at verse 28. This is one of my favorites.
There's a book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance.
You see that? And when you go to the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 1, it says that the incorruptible spirit of the Lord is in all things. All right, we're going to prove that. Okay, that the Lord is in control of all things, even the elements. All right, go ahead.
Which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them.
You see that? They pour out their force. And we know that water is one of the strongest forces, right, here on earth. All right, and the Lord uses it as well for judgment, as you saw. Okay?
Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance.
You see that? Whatever you see happening, whatever you see that brings evil upon the earth, upon the people, okay, is of the Lord, okay? And guess what? For all you naysayers and say that my God wouldn't do this, my God wouldn't allow this, you obviously have not read Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 39, okay? You obviously haven't read Isaiah 45 and verse 7, okay? You err not knowing the scriptures, okay?
Teeth of wild beasts, and scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandment.
They shall rejoice in his commandment, but this is what they were created for. Okay? Understand that this is what they were created for. Imagine you building a car and never driving it, but the car had a conscience. Imagine your car having a conscience, right? You built it, but you left it parked his whole life. Or you got a pistol, right? It got a conscience, but you never fired it. All right? But this is what it was made for. All right? So these spirits were created for vengeance, okay? You see, and this is why it says they shall rejoice in his commandment. Once the Lord commands them to do what they got to do, they're going to be happy to do it because that's their duty. That's their job. Okay? Go ahead.
And they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word.
You see that? They're not gonna say, well, hey, Lord, I don't know. There's about 20 children down there. 94-year-old grandma got 72-year-old Joe, on his mobile chair. I don't know if I should do that. No, they don't question the Lord. When the Lord sends it, that's it. Whatever he sends upon you, it's coming. All right? Point blank, period. He don't turn around. He don't second guess the Lord. He don't question the Lord. He goes and does what he has to do, what he's supposed to do. Okay? A spirit created for vengeance. Okay? And the Lord could put that spirit in any element, all right? It could be a brick in a building, a loose brick, and you're walking by, and it's your time of judgment. The Lord will put that spirit on that brick to fall. Boom. Okay? Right on your noggin. All right? So understand that these spirits were created by the Lord, okay? For that day, right? Of vengeance, man, right? To appease him, to appease his wrath. All right, and you could see the Lord's wrath in that flood, man. That flood, if you go look at the videos, man, that flood was, raging. All right, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a higher body count. All right, that's the mighty hand of the Lord, right? So now let's go to the book of Psalms, okay, chapter 107, and let's start at verse 23.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 107. And verse 23, they that go down to the sea in ships, that do business in great waters, these see the works of the Lord, and his wonders in the deep.
You see that? They see the works of the Lord. Okay? So what they see here are the works of the Lord. Okay? Go ahead.
For he commandeth and raiseth the stormy wind, which lifteth up the waves thereof.
You see that? So the Lord commands and raises the stormy wind, which lifteth up the waves thereof. Okay, you see? He commands it, man. Okay? And guess what? As the scripture said in Ecclesiasticus 39, right, and 31, they don't transgress his word. They do exactly what he commands them to do. Go ahead.
They mount up to the heaven. They go down again to the depths. Their soul is melted because of trouble.
You see that? Their soul is melted because of trouble. All right? But the point here is that the Lord is the one that commands these waters. He commands the elements. He's in charge of all things. All right? And when he gives you a charge, that means he gives you a commandment. All right? And nobody in their right mind transgresses the Lord's commandments. And hey, look at the position he put us in. All right? All right, but for his name's sake, okay, he has had mercy upon us. All right, but not everybody is going to receive that mercy. Okay, not everybody's going to receive that mercy. And when them spirits of vengeance are roused up, all right, there's no turning them back. Okay, the Lord is in command of all these things. All right, so let's go to the book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 31.
There's the book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power.
See that? So it is a fearful thing. All right? It is a fearful thing. You could imagine those people drowning, all right, or stuck in mud pits, all right. That water coming and they just screaming, and you could imagine, right? They didn't pray that morning. They didn't think about their so-called God, all right. They didn't think about Cesar Borgia that morning, but I guarantee you they were calling on God and Jesus right there, calling on the wrong names, okay. But not once thought about, doing any good works or doing any good. Okay, and I heard that this was a Christian camp that is swept. Okay, showing you, man. Look at what's going on with all these churches. Okay, these shootings, these fires, these all these bad things happening, man. All right, now you got Christian camp, okay, being swept away. All right, what is that telling you? All right, as it says in the book of Acts chapter 7 and verse 47, man. Right, Solomon built him a house. Howbeit the Lord does not dwell in temples made by hands. Okay, showing you that the Lord is not with these people, man. They're not holding the truth. Okay, they're not going to receive the Lord's mercy. All right, they are wicked. Okay, these people are wicked. All right, and the Lord is going to deal with them. Okay, if they were righteous, if they were bringing out the truth, telling you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that you are the Israelites, okay, not making merchandise of the word, okay, a mockery of the living power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, they wouldn't be put in this position. But the Lord is showing you, for those that could see, all right, for those that are going to wake up and say, what the hell is going on? I thought this was supposed to be our protection. But instead, all these things are coming down upon Christianity, man, okay? Don't tell me that the devil is persecuting you for the truth, okay? Nah, man. Satan doesn't do anything that the Lord does not allow him to do, man. All right? You can go to the book of Job and find that out. All right? But the Lord is going to judge, right? He's going to bring evil upon the wicked, man. All right? And that's what you are seeing. You see? Matter of fact, let's go to the book of Psalms. Okay? Chapter 7, verse 11.
There's the book of Psalms, chapter 7 and verse 11. Yahweh judgeth the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day.
You see that? And the wicked is Esau, Edom, first and foremost. Okay? But you, Jake, have become just like Esau. Okay? But when you look at the reports in this flood, I'm pretty sure all of them, if not 90%, Salakia, if not 90% of them, are Edomites by face value. Okay? You got a bunch of Beckys and Joes missing. Right? And what does it say, man? Read that one more time.
Yahweh judgeth the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day.
He's angry with the wicked every day. And if the Lord is commanding those floods, if the Lord is commanding the waters, does that look like he was pleased? That's showing his anger, right? So the Lord is showing you, okay? And especially those that are acting like they Christian, like they holier than thou, okay? Look at this damn country, right? God bless America, all right? But they do everything adverse to the living power, okay? Because they're the children of Satan, all right? And like I said earlier, the Lord is going to amplify these judgments, okay? And all we could do is hope that we keep calling on his name and hiding in that strong tower, all right? To be safe from these judgments that are coming, all right? Because that's nothing. But imagine the horror, right, that those people were feeling, okay, in the midst of that raging water, right? With no chance, man. You're just a mere mortal, okay? Dealing with divine force, okay? That's divine force. If you can receive it, that is divine force, okay? That's why the scripture just said, right, in Hebrews 10 and 31, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, man. The mighty hand of the Lord is no joke, okay? And when it's ready to bring forth judgment, there's nothing you could do, all right? That's why it's time to get right, all right? You see what's going on, man. This world is getting turned upside right again because it's upside down right now. The Lord is coming back to fix things, okay? And like I said, he's giving you a preview. This is the trailer, all right, before all hell breaks loose, right? Because it's not only going to be, civil war and riots. No, it's going to be catastrophes, what you would call catastrophes, right? Apocalyptic catastrophes, Okay, no, that's judgment from the Lord coming, man. All right. Then you know you got these wacky tacky Christians. Well, how could that be the Lord? My God wouldn't kill children, right? What did those children do? Innocent little children. All right, innocent little children. What the hell do you know, right? What the hell do you know? The only thing you know is Galatians 3:8, John 3:16. Okay, and you don't even understand what that means. Okay, this word wasn't for you. That's why you sit there and don't understand the judgment of the Lord. All right? There is none good. All right? Point blank, period. There's only those that are going to receive mercy and those that don't. Okay? Matter of fact, let's go to the book of Job, chapter 4, and verse 7.
There's the book of Job, chapter 4, and verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished, being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off?
You see that? Whoever perished being innocent, right? Or where were the righteous cut off? Okay? And now you might ask yourself, oh, but those were children. You know, I don't give a damn if he was a stillborn. All right? He might have been 1 month. Goo goo gaga. You know? Got hit by a bus or something. You know? This is what it is. Okay? But it's judgment from the Lord. Like I said, go look at Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. The Lord said, I kill, I make alive. Okay? Right? And there's none that can deliver out of my hand, man. All right? You guys don't understand. You've been praying a sweet Jesus for too long. Comfortable, right? In your rotten skin. Not understanding the true power of the living power. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay? You guys don't believe in reincarnation. That's why you say, well, why would he get judged, a little baby, a month old? All right? Matter of fact, let's back that up. Let's close out with the book of 2nd Esdras. All right, let's go to 2nd Esdras. Okay, chapter 14 and verse 35.
There's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 14 and verse 35. For after death shall the judgment come.
For after death shall the judgment come.
When we shall live again.
Hold up, say that again.
When we shall live again.
When we shall live again, man. Reincarnation. Okay? So you're going to die. You're going to receive your judgment. Okay? You're going to receive a sentence and get sent forth to pay that sentence here on earth. Okay? You don't go to no damn purgatory. All right? Burn forever. All right? You got a man with a pitchfork. That's all false, man. That's mythology. That's Greek mythology. Okay?
And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared.
You see that? And the works of the ungodly shall be declared. Okay? Hey, that baby didn't make it past 2 years old. We know why. That was a wicked soul being sent back for his judgment. Okay? You see a man in a wheelchair throwing up gang signs. Okay? Can't walk, undeveloped legs. We knew that was a wicked person in his past life. Okay? Judgment. We understand judgment, okay? And what the hell can we do, right? Can the potter tell can the clay tell the potter, why hast thou made me thus, right? You Christians are retarded, all right? And that's why more and more of you are going to perish, because where there is no vision, the people perish, right? And my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Why? Because you have followed that bullshit that they have taught you ever since they came here, and you don't want to wake up. All right, the Lord's gonna wake you up with them alarms. Okay, when they're being blown physically. All right, when that danger is coming and there's nothing else you could do about it. When we were trying to blow the spiritual trumpet out here and warn our people. All right, to get right. Okay, so this is a lesson, right? The mighty hand of the Lord. Lord willing, this was edifying, and with that, we're going to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And I want to say shalom to the brothers and sisters that are in this truth. Shalom.
Shalom.
Abba Babal.
Abba.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kum Yasharala.
Shalom.
Shalom.